Why do stones move all by themselves in California's Death Valley? Can frogs and toads really live for centuries entombed in solid rock? Do the mountains of Mongolia still harbor Neanderthal man? Did he die out 40,000 years ago, or does this ice block contain a survivor? This man helped build the world's first atom bomb. Has he also found the key to the age-old puzzle of ball lightning? The journey from the great rock of Sigiriya in Sri Lanka has taken us all around our Earth and beyond. To Stonehenge in England and the midsummer sunrise. To Atacama in Chile and its unknown giant. To Ireland and midwinter's dawn at the oldest building on Earth. These have been the wonders of the mysterious world. In the snows of the Himalayas, we have followed the tracks of its elusive inhabitants. And deep in the forests of North America, caught glimpses of shadowy creatures. In Costa Rica, the giant stone balls remain a mystery. In Munich, the Baghdad Battery is still a powerful enigma. These have been the mysteries from the files of Arthur C. Clarke, author of 2001 and inventor of the communication satellite. From his home in Sri Lanka, after a lifetime of science, space, and writing, he has pondered the riddles of this and other worlds.
In this series, we've scanned an entire spectrum of mysteries. Some are amusing, some are trivial, some are complete enigmas, some we may even have solved. But they vary wildly in significance. Some, though fascinating, are probably quite unimportant. Others, if we could fathom them, might change our entire understanding of the universe.
Dawn over Death Valley reveals an earthbound moonscape amongst the most hostile territory in all America. Bitterly cold by night, blistering desert by day. Its only inhabitants are herds of wild donkeys. Yet here, strange tracks keep appearing on the baked surface, left by huge boulders, stones which seem to move under their own power, curving and looping for hundreds of yards and even for miles. The scene of this weird phenomenon is Racetrack Playa, a dried-up lake on the edge of Death Valley. Geologist Mike Carey, with his new bride, has made the 7-hour journey here from Los Angeles. For more than a decade, he has been trying to find the key to the strange forces which cause the stones to move.
I think we can conclusively say that there is no doubt that the stones do move, that the stones move distances in one movement apparently upwards of 200 and 300 feet. We're talking about stones from the size maybe of your little finger on up to large stones of 600 or 700 pounds.
No one has ever seen a stone move, but Carey quickly ruled out hoaxers. They couldn't have moved quarter-ton rocks for hundreds of yards without leaving telltale traces. He also discounted theories that Racetrack Playa was affected by mysterious vibrations or magnetic effects. As each new and serpentine track appeared, it was painstakingly plotted.
All right. Now we'll stretch it tight. 74 feet 4 inches.
Carey marked each stone with a stake to measure how far it moved. He painted the corners to show which way each faced. He even built corrals around groups of them to see if they all moved at once. It took him 7 years to formulate a theory. He thought that perhaps once every 2 or 3 years, rain and wind joined forces to produce precisely the right conditions.
The playa surface is probably rather firm, but contains a thin layer of very slippery mud, possibly with some water standing on top of it. And the wind is able to pick the rock, start the rock to move, and slide it across on the firm base, but pushing aside the very slippery mud and sliding right on top of that as it moves. It's probably moving a couple of feet per second as it rides off across the playa, and after 100, 200 feet of movement, or sometimes just a very little movement, the stone will eventually come to rest as the wind dies down. I believe it's basically changes in the wind during the time when the rock is moving that cause the stone trails to be so variable. The wind not only being funneled through this area, but the cliffs that protrude out sometimes give a whirlwind type effect, so that the wind is actually whipping around in different directions. Basically what we've done is develop circumstantial evidence that builds to the point of saying wind on a sloppy playa surface is the only explanation we can come up that's legitimate. No one has ever been out here and actually seen a stone move. Probably it's a fact of nature that it only happens on dark and stormy nights when no one in their right mind would be out here in the first place.
The moving stones of Death Valley are quite surprising, but I'm sure that Dr. Carey has solved this minor mystery. But there are other mysteries to which we'd like answers. I have a hunch that one of the most important of all mysteries may be ball lightning.
The definitive sighting of ball lightning was the one at Crail in Scotland in 1966. Mrs. Jean Meldrum and her mother were at the beach cafe one August afternoon.
I looked up because I heard this noise getting louder and louder, and there was just like a ball of fire. It was like orange in the middle, and it was luminous white round, and it rolled right along the side of the cafe, the wall in the cafe, and it came to the window, and it came out the window. And I came up, lifted up the way to have a look to see what this was, and the thing came out the window and battered across the front of my chest, and then it vanished because I picked the kid up and I went inside because everybody was panicking by this time. But I was sore for days after it, and just there was nothing else to see after it had gone, but it was just like a big ball of fire.
All of a sudden, the whole kitchen I was standing in just lit up luminous white. I couldn't understand it. It was very frightening. And then the screaming went on till the beach was empty. The cafe people had all run out the cafe. They ran out like lightning. And the beach attendant, who had a wooden leg, he usually sat on the table just next to the counter. And you never saw anybody move so quick in all your life. He was gone with the rest. And the following day I discovered the 2 gas jets in the top of the cooker were cut right through, and we had to send it to the blacksmith in Crail, the local blacksmith, to be repaired.
A year before